Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. I have a little bit of confession to make. I recorded a video, only I didn't record any video, just the sound, so an hour or so's play getting this window to silver is gone. Sorry about that. I will continue with the mismatch window, which anybody watching this won't have seen. So, all regions must have different shapes. One of these two has to extend out, and if it was the blue, then the yellow would still have to extend. That's not true actually, because the blue could do that. Got a single space here, so they both have to extend out, and the blue has to go further. That has to be more than the 3 spaces, so I think it has to do at least that. This has to extend. It can't come just down here. Can't come just down here, or it would leave a single space there. So it has to do at least these two, and it has to extend across. It can't just be an elbow, so it has to be at least these 3, and either extend further down or extend up and form a square, which is probably what it does, but that works. All regions must have an area of exactly 5. That one is fixed. So it's the W domino. That has to extend down another one. That can either go to there or to there. So this one's something different. This cannot be the W, so it has to extend that way. I knew that'd be something else forced. That looks to me like it has to be a P. This cannot come across into here, so this one's going to have to come across to there. Can't be the R because I've used that. I think that's going to have to be a plus, that's going to have to be a T shape. that has to come there. Interesting. So that has to come down there, and this one can't extend. So it would have to come there, but I've already put the S over that side. Ah, right, so go back a long way. So that, I think, is forced. Which means this one does not extend out, so it has to come down. So that's forced. And this one now can't come down like that, so it has to go like that. So that's forced. But that breaks this one down at the bottom. Try again. So that has to do that. There is no choice. And this is going to have to come around at least 4. This one has to come around at least 4. That's 2. That's 3. That's 3. Right. That can't do that. But it has to do that to finish. So that is forced. This one, oh, can do that. Right. Let's that one do that. This can't do that. It has to do that. That's going to extend at least one more. So I have 16 cells left to fill, which means I've got 3 more complete shapes that I haven't even. No, 16. Need 5 to finish these 4 around here. 10. Okay, there's one more shape that I haven't even started yet. Which could be pretty much anything. And I need a straight. And that could be a P. And that could be a T shape. And that one could be straight. And then I've got a plus here that it wouldn't work. So I need an R in domino. I think that's going to have to go down. I think that one has to be P. It was quite tricky for 3. there's more. Another one down there. That's a 6. 6 can stay there for a bit. There's a 2. Ooh, Palisade. Right. So that is forced. This has to extend up to here, because it's got a corner one way or the other. This, that's a wall, go out like that, but then I've got another single space, so it can't, right, that can't join across there. Oh, that's isolated. This could join to here though, quite happily. And this could come up to here. This one can't come out either of these two sides because it leaves that isolated, so it has to join that way, which means it's 2 by 1. This can't be a 2 by 1, so it can't go down. So it has to go up and out. That has to extend there, like that. This one has to be separated, so it has to go like that and has to continue. That doesn't have to continue, it can do whatever it likes really. This could continue through here. That, okay. This can't do that. It's 2 by 1. Could do that. A nice little elbow, as long as this one then extends. This, but if I do that, then this one can't go horizontally, so it has to go vertically, so that's an S. That would have to go like that. This one could go 4 vertically and 1 horizontally. No, can't do that. That's the 3 vertical. Right. I think I made that one harder than it needed to be. There's something way down there. Hang on. There's 2 6s down there. Yeah. Not right now. 3. That has to go across there, but it could come out. That has to go across there, but it could come out. That's the 1. That has to be at least 2. So it doesn't join to that, which means this one has to come out. That looks promising. now I can fill that and that. Okay, this has to be a 3 and a 1. But it could be a straight 3 and a 1. Because we put the L shape over here. There has to be a single 1 on this. Which means we can't do the L shape like that. We can't do the L shape like that. Or like that. So the only way we can do the L shape without blocking off a single piece is like that. Yeah, I think so. Which means that in actual fact, that has to be the straight. It's comes as a shock sometimes when it does it and you're thinking, oh, I have to do this and then go back and look at the rest. It's quite nice though. Let's take this one. Okay, precision 5. And I assume each of these is no, it's 15. That one's 15. Okay, so the ones at the top are all 10. There's 3 lots of 10 and 2 lots of 15. So these ones have to get another shape in. This is the other shape, so I'll put it in a different colour. And this purple can't come down to here because then this would only have 4 to finish. Now we've got 5 in the right angle if we want, but then this one doesn't have enough space, so this has to come down at least another 2, so this has to extend out. It could be straight, or it can be the sort of lowercase t. That could be something like a P and a long S, whatever. Figure that out later. This one, that is not reachable from either of these 2 ends. If this gets to here, then this is blocked in. But it could get to here and block that. Okay. Make that one pink. Thank you. So pink can't get across to here. It could go in here. Pink can't go in there. I think that's about as far as I can get that one. That has to be a different shape, as does that, as does this, because we can't get to it from blue without blocking the pink in, as does that. So this is the pink P, so I don't have a P anywhere else, so that's the purple there. And that means the blue has to come down here and not form a P. It has to go to there. Right. That I think is the only way of completing that one. That has to be light blue, does it? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it doesn't. It could go all around the top. This cannot be the P though. Could be a sort of U shape. Hmm. Okay, that has to extend up like that. That has to extend like that. So this one, oh, it could be the W. Okay, so I can't have this shape down here, so this one does have to be the straight one. The purple has to go in there. That could be the W and the R pentomino. This is where know your pentominos. Okay, if this came around this way to get to this cell, then this one would become a P. So that has to extend that way, and I'll make it pink as well for ease of thinking about it. If this was sort of T-shaped, then this again would be a P. And if this came around here and into that, then, oh, I haven't actually guaranteed. This could be the plus. Hang on, let's just do that. And I won't mark the borders in as set in stone, but why did I think that was an R? Okay, if I made that one an R, then this becomes the U. That is an L. This as whatever we call this one, and this one is the T. Right. That's level 5, which I will look at in a few minutes. Precision 14, so precision 4, and there's 20, so I need 5 things filling in. That can't come all the way around to here, so that's a different one again. So, there's straight, there's L, there's T, and I'm trying to remind myself, there's an S, and there's a square, right. I'm going to need a square somewhere, and I can't put it there because this one's locked in, and I can't put it up here because that one's locked in, so I think the square has to go there. That Stop guessing. Right, that has to then be the L. This has to be the S. That one has to be straight, and that one has to be the T. Okay, level 5 puzzle. So I need to take 5 spaces out of here, which means I need to go through there with something different, so that has to be like that. And this either goes up this way or up that way. And the other side is going to have to be a W. I don't know if it goes up that way with the W that side or up this way with the W this side. If it goes up this way with the W down here, then we're left with that's okay. Make these a different colour so they stand out. In this section, I can't, if I put a block across there, then I have the same thing as I had here, forcing a U and something coming out. So I don't have a block across there. Now that gets interesting. So if I have the W coming down here, this goes up one more. And if this ends up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that doesn't work. Interesting, so that forces that like that, and that like that, and this like that. If that made sense, please write in and let me know, because I thought it made sense at the time, but it was probably a very garbled explanation of my thought process, such as it is. Now, this cannot come across to here. Probably block isolated spaces, so it comes down at least one more. This has got to come out here, but it could fill up sort of T-shape. This takes either that or that. This takes at least that. It takes one of those two, so it has to take that as well. You can't take this one, it's a duplicate of that shape, so it's the T. And that's the only way of putting anything in that space. This can't form a P with the blue one, but it could form a plus with the blue. That has to come out. This 1, 2 could join on up there, but that would form another W. So this is either the R pentagonal or the plus. And either way it takes that one. Which means that this one has to take at least 2. And it can't be this T shape. So I think we have to do that. That has to come out one more. And it can't come straight on. Oh, okay. I've got both of those still available. If that joins on like that, we count of the R of T, we could have that. Which would force this one to come like that. And this to be that, and that to be that. What are we doing? 29 of 37. It's quite a lot in this area. And something behind the Hobbit door, I think. And there's more to unlock. Oh, let's do the 6. Ooh. All regions must have different shapes, and we have circle, square, triangle in each. This can only get to 1 square. This has to go up there. I don't know whether this square belongs to one side or the other. This has to go further to get to a triangle, and the only way it can get to a triangle is up this way. Right. This square is therefore forced out this way, and that shape is almost complete. Although I don't know, it could extend in more space apparently. This circle can only get to that square. This circle has to go through that triangle. This needs to get to that triangle. This circle has to go to this square, or else this one's blocked off. Means that one has to come up here. So that's complete, and this has to extend another space. That has to go through that circle and that square. This has to get to a triangle. So that one's locked down. And one of these 2 W's has to, or one of these 3 W's has to extend further. And this circle could come across a triangle over here. Square can get to either triangle, and it doesn't even have to go straight up, it could go around a corner. Okay, This can extend at most 1. This could extend 2 if this was fixed as a W and that extended 1. This one can extend at most 1. If we extend that one 1, then and this one 1, then we just have elongated W's on both sides, and it doesn't work. So I think this one has to extend in both directions. Could be wrong on that. It kind of looks that way to me, which means this one also has to extend 1. Right. This square has to come up now. And could pick a circle, triangle either side, but I don't know. This has to come out, and it's forced to pick up that square and continue down. This has to come out. That can go either way, that's fine. This one can go either way. This, yeah, this could go across because the circle can be picked up by that square. The only circle that can get this, no, this circle could get to this square or this one. The only square this triangle can get to is this one. Yeah. I'm pretty confident about that. This could be part of that shape. Doesn't have to be. Now, could form a T there, a long straight bit there. I think that actually works. Just trying to see. And this piece down there of the same shape. And if I do that, then this is now forced to join here. These two pieces here and here are now the same shape as a result of doing that, which is a little bit unfortunate. That's now that had to come to there. If it comes down to here, then this is broken. This has to come out to there. No, it doesn't. This has to join back onto that, but then it can't get to a square anywhere. Yeah, So if I join this to a different circle that isn't this one, this is forced across here, but that doesn't work because that's a duplicate of that shape. So I think I have to join those. And this has to extend to not be the same shape as that. Should have been a useful observation a little while back. And those have to come across there, which means that does have to come to there. So I've got currently two T-shapes. This has to get to a square somewhere. So this T-shape has to extend. So these are all forced. Right. Three. This should be much easier. So we have 7 regions, of which 4 have a fixed shape. Yeah. Now this could be like that. Could be like this, in which case we have only 3 or possibly even only 2 fixed areas. If I just make a random guess that I had all the edges marked, I don't know why I had to colour them as well. Okay. That's 3. Should be easy. So there's 5 cells left over that we don't know about in the 2 polyominoes. Now the only problem I have with this is that, not that I like to use completeness, but that's also valid in that case. So I think I'll have to do that. This has to do that, but it can have a variety of ways it can be oriented. That could go straight up. Okay, I don't know that that was necessarily forced to be unique, but it worked out that way. Oh my goodness. That the right angles on the edge have to come outwards, because they can only be blocked off on one side. This, however, could be the same shape. Right angle on the edge has to come out. Straight on the edge has to go up and down. That has to come out. That has to come out. So if this goes horizontally, right, this joins into one socket or the other, this joins into one socket or the other, and all the way around. So in other words, we have a nice little Catherine wheel type effect in the middle. I just don't know if it's going clockwise or anti-clockwise. Whichever way it's going, that's forced. This, I think there is a side here, or it doesn't. It's going out 3 of the other sides. If we come down here, then no, I can't say anything about which side has to be blocked off on that. So one of these, this whole thing forced to be this one. If this comes down, then that can be forced to the left. If this doesn't come down, this is forced to the right, but can't go up, so it's a 2x1. Again, that doesn't actually help me any. But I decided it has to have the wall there. This can't be a 1, so it has to come out to there, which stops. Okay, so I can put a 2x1. So that going straight into the corner doesn't work. Into the corner it can't turn up, because then it join onto itself, so this has to go that way. This is going to have to come down. That's a wall layer. That can't come into the corner, so it has to go. It can't come down there because this has to join up to the corner. That's the wall. That has to extend. That has to come out there. That's the wall. Don't know if it's joined or not, so I'll make them clearer that they're different colours. This could come out, in which case this one is just an elbow, or it can go up, in which case this one can extend. That is a wall there. This has to extend one way or the other, which means it eventually comes into this. It can't just be the straight elbow, I don't think. I think forces that. This has to go into one or both of these, and it can't be a 2x1, so it has to be, that has to be the simple elbow. Right, this has to extend up and through there, which means that extends that way. That does that. That one is complete. That's complete. That's complete. This is going to have to continue into there, and that one can continue into that. Doesn't have, this could be either of these two though. This can't be a simple elbow, so it's going to have to connect into there. Can't be a simple P shape, but I can stick another bit on the end. So, well, this can't be simple elbow either, so it has to do that. Right. 4x1. We'll extend that out. Either it's plausible. Oh dear. That's another 2x1. I don't see any way to resolve this cell. I extend it down, it's 2x1. I extend it up, this one's long. Let's just see if I really did get my deductions correct around here. Say that one came down, then this would have to be allowing yeah, that didn't work because this is now forcing another 1x1 in that area. If this went this way, and again this has to go parallel to the wall. This has to turn. Right, that is completely forced. That is blocked by this being vertical. This has to come out. Okay, I think that's pretty 6. I'm allowed to start again. So that has to come out. That is forced. This is forced. And that goes that way. Now, if this one goes vertically, then this is basically broken. So this, I think, has to go horizontally, and I'm assuming that my earlier deductions, such as they were about the direction of the windmill, must have been wrong. Okay, that can't be a 2x1. I have to order 1x1 in the corner, so that has to be the elbow shape. This can't go down, or it ends up as a 2x1. So that's going to have to take that space. This can go around that corner, leaving that. So simple L. And this can be the right angle, and this comes up here. Okay, that's fine. These either have corners on the outside, in which case, yeah, this has to extend into that corner, because otherwise that becomes another 2x1. Means the right angle is there. And it extends out there. Some of these things can join up. That has to go like that. This has to extend. Can't extend to that one, so it has to extend to there. Yeah. This has to extend. This has to bend. Okay. This has to connect to something. That can be a square or a P or whatever. That could be a 4x1 and a square above it. Quite happy. This can't go into the corner, or it comes all round to join onto itself. So that comes up there and then has to come out. This can't go up, so it has to go left. This has to bend. This has to extend. This has to go one direction or another, so we'll do that. Anyone who wants can take that space. Okay, that shape is complete. This shape is complete. This can extend or not as it wishes. This has to join onto something, which I think is going to be this one, like that. Extends that one to there. gives me 2 L's. And ooh, do like a nice difficulty 6. And there's another one lurking down here. All regions must have different shapes, and we have to get one of each shape into each region. This square can only reach one circle. This square can only reach one circle. Yeah, all of these have to go up. Some probably will still go down, which means they also have to continue up to there. Okay, that was the easy bit. Now, how do I make them all different? That could be 3 by 1, but if that's in, and if either of these two extend to the bottom, if this extends down, it also has to extend across the top and make that a 3 by 1 and force that to extend down. There's a lot of if going on in that. This then has to extend either down and across, which makes it the same as that shape. This is all hypothetical on this extension. Whatever this one does, it can't be the same as that, so it's going to have to go one up. Means this one can't be a 3 by 1, so it has to go to there. So that's forced. And one of these two has to extend further. That extends, and that extends, and that does that. And we have a problem. It extends the same as this. It extends again. And this is now the same as that. That becomes the long straight one. This one can't just be an L, so it would have to come up at least one. We've got a 4 by 1, so it has to do something else. I've got a 4 by 1 with a bend on the end. So we might have that. But that doesn't work because of this one needs to do something. Okay, I think my assumption that this might extend down must be wrong. Which means, does it mean, could this be the 3 by 1? Extend that one up to be 4 by 1. Extend that one into being an L shape. This one, 5 by 1. That's a 3 by 1. That's going to become an L. Like length of 2. Yeah. Okay. Let's just do that. I'm pretty certain is forced. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 shapes. 1, 2, 8, 12. 12 spaces to allocate to 8 shapes. Now I could make either this top one or the left one be 6 by 1. Let's just have a look at that. No, if I did that, then this one is probably going to have to be 5 for the right angle bend. Forcing this one into being a line of 4. So what I have to look at is what can I do in allocating these remaining 12 things to 8 that I can't make like too many of them just straight lines. So I have to curve or bend. So something like that which of course doesn't quite work. It's a pity. Yeah, vibing it is not the way to do this. So this one can't be 3 straight, can't be 3, 4 and then a corner, or 4 straight, can't be 4 and then a corner. Could be that, but that then leaves that one messed up. Can't take one off here because this gets messed. So if I assume I have to do something down there, four straight, 3 straight. This one has to extend further. This one is going to have to become the L. Means that one has to extend up to being 5. This one is now messed up unless I do something with this. Unfortunately, I'm not making any progress with this level 6 puzzle at all. One last attempt. Let's... Can I... Right. There's my starting position. And I believe that is really solidly fixed. If this is 3 by 1, then both of these have to extend. Extending this one this way, I could do that. But that then forces this one to extend out as well. Can't just become an L piece. And this then would have to become the L to be unique. This five. This would then have to go all the way up here, and these two are left being identical, which doesn't work. instead I do that, I put straight on the L, that become the shorter L, this one could become just as 5 straight. That's an even longer L. Now, do something crazy like that, then I have to have a bend in this somewhere, and then I have 2 3x1s. As it extends down, then one of these has to go crossways and form a pentagonal to 3, but there's nothing determining which it is. If that comes down, then if this comes down, then it forces that to come down and that across. I put a 3, a short L, I put a 4, I put a T-piece, I can do an S-bend, a longer bodied L, and a 5. Ouch. That was kind of painful. But we got there. 3 more to go to make this window gold, and I think I'll actually leave it there for now, because I've gone over my usual time for an episode of this. A lot to make Palisade gold. Okay, yep. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back soon with another episode, if I remember to turn on the video recording.